Alright. Welcome back to the Daily Grind Anthem in-game edition, and welcome to episode 208. Alright, let's get this started. Let's check out the dailies. Let's see. We got 2 contracts, defeat 30 scars, get 30 gear, or defeat 30 enemies with gear, and 1 stronghold. So we got a stronghold, gear, and scars. We're going to do Temple of the Scar. Could knock out 3 out of 1 go. Alright, let's get this started. Let's load up. Temple of the Scar. We got the Ranger. We equip our combo gear and ice sigils. Get ready for some Arctic Tomb and some insanity to go with that. Let's load up. Let's get this going.
Scar swarm has infested these caves. Corvus has been tracking its leader, and a Scar Eye who calls itself Skilos.
You'll have to fight your way through the swarm, Freelancer. Nothing we haven't done before.
Yep, done with that for now. Still. Yes, son, because there's no way to proceed without killing that boss, and I can't kill that boss right now. So, Zeus, still got Game Pass Ultimate?
I think so. Haven't canceled that yet.
Okay, you excited for Outer Worlds dropping this month?
Now I am.
You forgot.
Yes, I did. Too many games are coming out this last quarter of the year.
You'll need to destroy the alarms.
Better just let them play.
Yeah, some of them I'm gonna skip on. Modern Warfare, probably.
That was fantastic. 5 more, Freelancer.
I'm gonna try and get Sword and Shield, but I'm gonna have to work it because I ordered the double pack from GameStop today and found out it's $130 instead of the $120 it would cost me normally for the 2. But I think you get some kind of special, I don't know if it's a case or what, the Switch carrying case or whatever. I gotta look it up online. But you get something special for the extra $10 and for buying the double pack instead of the single.
Probably a case.
Excuse me. Yes, son. We're gonna get both games if I can come up with the money.
Yeah, you and me both, man. Try and come up with the money.
Who said you're getting either one? I didn't say you weren't getting, but you assume you and Mom are the only ones getting it. I'm getting sword and y'all can share. Nope. That's not my problem. Sword is mine, shield is y'all's. I haven't gotten a new Pokemon game since Black 2.
He looks...
Yeah, you and Mom have been the ones getting them. I didn't even get to play Sun and Moon. Or X and Y for that matter.
Interesting metaphor.
Hungry.
Can we not talk about food right now?
Well, transferring's pretty much out at this point.
I just saw a huge...
Unless you want to get your 2DS and 3DS another day this week or do it on a weekend and get them together and transfer over, son, you're just out of luck. Because the Pokemon Bank's going to run out soon and none of the Pokemon transfer to the Switch. They stay with the 3DS.
Yeah, they do.
You need to hurry up then because when the Pokemon Bank expires in February, it's just gone. I'm not re-upping again.
Damn. Locked in. You'll need to restart the power.
Better figure it out then. In the meantime, like I said, I'm probably gonna take X and Y
Look at all these barrels
and
flying around. They could've
the Dragon Quest games I've got as soon as I find the damn cases and see what they're worth at gamers. Yeah, I didn't get to play the remakes either. Thanks for pointing that out. Make me feel even better. I made sure y'all had my detriment. I don't want to play them. I'm going to play the new one. Rock lobster.
Let's move.
Yep. You know what it is. Nope. No, we got stuff to do Thursday. You aren't even going to be at school till like noon. Yeah. Okay, so it's you and who else? And who's paying for the entry? Do you have your $3? Okay, well, then it's all you. But you need to talk to your mom about it, otherwise you can't stay for the tournament anyway. Well, first of all, we got doctor's appointment. Butt crack early. We gotta get up at 6 and be gone by like 6:30. Yes, you got a doctor's appointment at 10:30. But we gotta get there early so your mom can get seen. Nope. You can bring a book. You got all those Warrior Cat books that you didn't finish because you're... And then your mom checked out a whole stack of them and you didn't read them.
We're locked in.
Exactly, because you're what?
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, I don't want
Very
to hear it.
helpful. I've got an idea, but it's definitely not combat.
Told you not.
Boo-hoo, son. I finished 3 books in the time you're finishing that one. And both of them, 2 of the books were over 400 pages apiece. That's 800 pages I read with smaller type than you.
Yes, ma'am.
And on top of that, I found time to stay awake for 3 days and play Borderlands. I don't want to hear your crap. Zeus knows what's up.
Yeah, trust me.
Check in on the Witches Fest. I might even log in. Was the Festival of the Lost up and running at the tower?
Not that I know, not yet. I think with Shadow Keep, it's just gonna be normal Shadow Keep. Or unless festival, the laws got started like in closer towards the end of October.
Freelancer, the explosives.
No, I think they're mainly concentrating on the launch of the new expansion. And I think my buddies are all back home there. Try and blaze through this, see if I can play a bit.
Yeah.
Janky ass, broken ass freaking joystick for aiming. Oh, trust me, there's a pistol in there. It's literally a sniping hand cannon. 6 shots, energy, ammo, and that thing does hell of a damage. It has maximum range and damage, or impact. Like, it was like 2-shotting stuff that shouldn't be 2-shotted.
Yeah.
Like armored knights, plah plah. I'm like, oh shit.
Crap.
I was trying to get at least my XP for the seasonal thing up to 7 to get that artifact unlock. I left off, I think it was in between 3 and 4.
Artifact.
Yeah, they brought back artifacts, so it feels like D1 again.
Oh, nice. A friend of mine wants people to play Shadowkeep with, or Destiny 2 period, and I told. So I might end up trying to get Shadowkeep by Christmas instead of Elsewhere. I might try and pick it up instead of Elsewhere. Well, she said that she's given up on a lot of games because she doesn't have anyone to play with. And, I mean, she's like you, she's a streamer, only she does on Mixer. She's even partnered.
How'd she get a partnership on Mixer so quick?
She's been on the platform for 2 years.
Well,
She's been busting her hump. She got 10,000. She got I think we're up to 11K. I think she's up to 11K followers now.
Get back, Freelancer.
Lucky her, man. I hope it doesn't happen and they change their TOS or their freaking monetization like it did to me on YouTube. Fucking 8 years into my channel.
You got bent over.
8 years. I did not take the first partnership that was offered to me. That was within 4 years of my channel. Then I got that one 3 months. Yeah, it was like 3-4 months. Then that freaking Logan Paul shit that happened in Japan and just ruined for all small YouTubers and just fucked us over.
Freelancer exits above you.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a sore fucking subject, and every time it puts me in the place I don't want to be.
Yeah, I get that, man. I'm sorry about that. I was just letting you know. I mean, she's.
I know.
You know.
But
like
why
you,
do
she
the
busted
small
ass.
channels
On Mixer.
have to suffer it? He didn't even get his shit deleted. The term of service of YouTube, his channel should have been fucking deleted. He should have been kicked off the platform.
Well, that's like,
The same thing going with that one chick for Twitch. The one that yeet her cat. She
what's
has immunity.
yeet?
She threw her cat over her head.
Oh, whatever. It's a cat. On the other hand, that dude, Dr. Disrespect, getting to come back to Twitch after 2 weeks when he filmed people in a bathroom, which is illegal, when he knowingly engaged on camera on the platform in a highly illegal act that could have major ramifications if any of them were underage.
What state was it
and
in?
he was back on the platform, California.
Oh yeah, it's definitely illegal.
We're almost there. Seb, why would Scar start a cataclysm?
He was at E3. You didn't hear about that?
No, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, that Dr. Disrespect guy at E3 took his IRL stream into the bathroom. And it was not good enough for him that he did it once. He did it 2 more times.
Was it on accident, intentional?
The first one might have been an accident. The 2 following definitely weren't.
But I do remember some guy, he had a fake pair of nuts. He was making fun of another streamer that accidentally like showed something, I don't know, private part. They were like doing some IRL. She was playing with a dog. I don't know, MSMR crap on the living room. They're rolling on the floor and stuff got shown. And like, to me, that's just a fucking accident. It got caught on Twitch. It got caught on Twitch. And I heard she got banned for that.
Well, like, you know who Ninja is, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, he left Twitch and went to Mixer.
Okay, well, did you know that right after he left Twitch, they basically turned his channel into an open host platform, and he had to, like, he had to threaten legal action against Twitch because his followers were watching pornography being streamed on his Twitch channel.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
I doubt they would have streamed pornography on there.
No, for real. I mean, multiple complaints, and he did like a public outcry. They were streaming. They weren't paying attention to who was being hosted through his channel. They just basically threw open host, and some of the people that were coming through were showing hardcore porn.
Well, what I heard when he left Twitch and all that, his thing was canceled and deleted. And I don't see how hosting.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. That's the thing. They didn't close it and delete it. They kept it running. I probably got closed and deleted after he made the stink about them using his channel that way, you know? But no, it was open for like 2 or 3 days, and like I said, a lot of kids wound up seeing their first naked people.
Ew. I gotta fight an argument with Rito about that, man. Cause that,
yeah, man,
cause that goes against two different things I heard and seen, dude. Like literally, the day he announced his Twitch was closed and deleted, I even tried to go look up his channel. It says no, this channel is like the channel you're looking for is no longer here. I don't see how that could have happened.
I'm telling you.
Did you see
it yourself? No, I don't watch Twitch, but multiple news sites reported on it, and it wasn't just like Kotaku and Game Informer. It hit the mainstream news, I believe.
If it hit mainstream news,
because I'm just saying it because he had to come out and publicly speak out against Twitch for it. You know, because you know he had tons of young viewers who were watching him play Fortnite.
Yep. Preteen.
And they basically, and you know he had a massive following. That's why he got to be as famous as he did. Oh, do you watch The Masked Singer?
Nope.
Silence.
Did you see that Ninja was on it? He was the first one eliminated?
Nope.
Yeah, Donato, what song did he sing? Was it Old Town Road? Yeah, he sang Old Town Road while dressed as an ice cream cone and got the Knicks. Apparently his voice is not melodic and mellifluous. In other words, he sucks.
Mm-hmm. I'm always in one.
Oh, they already started already or something. Oh, hey. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. I have to start making sure I log in.
No, but seriously.
But yeah, man, I won't swear that it made mainstream news, but I know for a fact that like multiple like Kotaku, IGN type thing reported on it. So, I didn't see it personally, but, when you've got what are reputable gaming news outlets reporting it, more than one, it's not just something that somebody made up.
No, but it could have been I'm not trying to defend them, but it could have been like one small rumor and just escalated from there. And I've seen multiple news places report alleged rumors as actual news.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I have to see it to believe it type of thing.
Oh, I don't watch Twitch. The only reason I started watching Mixer is A, it's built into the console, and B, I was blasted. I'd been up like 3 days. On a Friday morning, I looked, 10 and 10.2 Remaster had just released on Xbox. So I went to Mixer to see who was playing, just to see if I could catch a 4K stream or whatever. And, she was first in the line because she had 70 or 80 views, and she had just started 10 for the first time ever. And she was, headbanging to the opening song and, getting into it, asking, chat, interacting with chat, asking them, for tips about, what she should be doing. I kept quiet because she missed the save sphere the first time and died in the first boss battle and had to start all over again. And
you gotta learn that the hard way like everybody else.
Yeah, and then she started jamming the opening sequence again, and this time, she hit the save sphere, and was all careful and all, and I watched her play for a good hour or two, and the community was real cool about everything. They weren't all being nasty when I started, commenting about some of the stuff in the game, and other people were starting to cut in with stuff further in the game, and I kept saying, dude, don't be like that, no spoilers. She's playing for the first time. Have you ever played Final Fantasy X?
I remember when it came out. What was it?
But did you play it?
Play it myself? No, I think I borrowed it and played it a bit. I think
okay,
it was my friend.
Do you know the big twist halfway through the game?
Yeah.
That
Yeah, me and my friends were old. Damn, shit, that's way back in high school.
Well, no, I mean, that the people who are the head of their church are actually undead, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they preach against, letting the undead survive because they turn into monsters and stuff. And they try and derail the whole game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they were starting to talk about stuff like that, and I'm sitting here trying to be like, no, dude, please, don't do that to her. This is a first playthrough, don't ruin what could be something magical for her.
It's like an experience, that's about it.
Another streamer, she's not partnered, but she plays with that Captain Robert guy on his Saved by the Spell D&D stream. Her tag is Caustic Phoenix. I watched her play through the first disc of Final Fantasy VII. Did you ever play that one?
I played that at my cousin's place.
Okay, did you ever get to the end of the first disc?
Mm-hmm.
What happens?
You find them and
I would not spoil it for people. Okay? But I remember playing all 4 discs.
See what I can do.
Oh, you're on stream?
Yeah.
Okay, well, either way, 22 years after I witnessed it, okay, at 14 years old, I watched a grown woman cry when she saw what went down.
Mm-hmm.
On a crappy 22-year-old game that, the graphics are all janked up and everything, it was still an emotional enough moment that she teared up. And that's the reason that I watch things like Final Fantasy streams and stuff. I'm not going to lie to you and say, I watch a bunch of streams. I don't watch YouTube. I don't watch Twitch. I do catch your channel occasionally. I do, believe it or not, I do try and watch some of those stuff you put up. I haven't watched any of the Anthem, but I do watch the occasional Mass Effect, and I did start in on the Let's Play you did of God of War.
Yeah, that first episode,
But,
I didn't know how to set up properly for the PlayStation, so I had no game audio until I noticed the replay afterwards. I'm like, son of a bitch. But after that,
I had it on mute anyway, so it didn't matter. I was just watching gameplay to start. But yeah, but like, if it's a game that I know and love, I will watch somebody play at least up to the point where like the impactful moments happen, because I want to see if they enjoy it or feel the same way I felt during that moment. It brings the sense of connection. Like, for instance, when you, earlier this morning, when you found out that the twins were typing to Leon's,
kids, yeah. That was a good pivotal moment.
Oh, sorry for the stream. I apologize. Yeah, we just put out a major spoiler.
Yeah.
But I mean, and you kind of got quiet and all, and we talked about it for a little bit. But that interaction that we had meant a lot to me, because I found out how you experienced it versus how I experienced it. It helped grow my, I don't want to say sense of, not even necessarily that, it helped grow my appreciation of the moment, because I could see it from a different point.
Appreciation of the moment.
Yeah. And like, for the one for Final Fantasy VII, man, I mean, think about the fact that it's been like half the people playing it now. The game wasn't even out. The game was out before they were born. And it still has that kind of impact.
Dude, if you want to see me cry and get like, emotional, I'll go back in the ME3 and play the Citadel DLC. And that shit, at the end, it brought me to tears. It actually made me feel like I was saying goodbye to the whole damn team. I think it was more impactful that first time around, because a little bit before
honestly,
that,
I guess because I'm a little bit of a sociopath. 7 didn't do it, 10 did. Because at the end, I mean, do you want me to go ahead and tell you about the ending, or you want to talk about it off stream later?
Go ahead, man.
Okay, at the end, you find out the main character. You find out at the end the main character is a dream of these people who had become summoned monsters. I can't remember what they're called right now. Anyway, basically they're left in a dream state, and that's how their powers are called forth. Basically, an entire city dreamed so hard that it brought him from the past 1,000 years into the future. And as they defeat the final monster for good, he starts to run into the girl he fell in love with's arms, and as she goes to hug him, he fades away as the hug goes down.
Dude, that just gave me chills right now, just remembering that.
And that brought me to tears. I'm not gonna lie. Because, I mean, in 7, even if you didn't hype it, it happened early enough in the game that you knew there wasn't going to be a happy ending. But at 10, right up to the very end, they let you believe it's going to be okay, and then they break your heart.
Everything's gonna be alright. No.
Yeah, and then they just break your heart, man, and it hit me. Another one that did that, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't necessarily tear up, but made me love killing Prescott in beast mode was the moment Dom sacrificed himself at the gas station. Another key moment, Gears 2, when he finds Maria.
Oh.
Maria! And it ain't even that, when he's flashing back, remembering the good times and all, and then they cut forward and you see she's this hollowed out husk and he's pulling the pistol to her head, and then they cut away and you just hear the gunshot. That was a gut punch. And it's weird too, because everybody talked about how Broheim those games are, because everybody's like super buff and it's all, blood and guts.
Oh no, it has its
but it has super emotional moments in all four. all 4 games that I've played so far. I haven't played 5, so don't worry. But in Gears 1, when Min Young Kim takes the sword to the gut, total emotional moment. You know, you think it's the end of almost the end of the first act. You think everything's okay. You're retreating across to the House of Sovereigns, and then the big bad guy comes in and just guts your commanding officer.
Like, guess what? You got gutted.
And then, of course, the first game just ratcheted up the tension everywhere, you know, so even if you weren't, it was almost like a horror game for the first one. But then the second one, finding Ty after he's been tortured when he eats the shotgun, Dizzy on the rig, holding off Scourge with his chainsaw staff, Dom finding Maria, you meeting the Queen for the first time.
All pivotal moments and the actions probably.
Crap, I can't remember the Colonel's name.
Okay, I'm on it.
What is the Colonel's name? No.
An outlook. Bad.
I can't remember right now, but the bald guy. Anyway,
You got it.
when they tell him, well, you are the support son, and he says, I guess so. And they start to retake the city and then at the very end of the game when you sink the city, total emotional moment. Humanity's last bastion as you know it, and you just sink it.
Now we should destroy
That one moment that you feel that all is lost.
Shut this place down.
Yeah, and then you find out that they're running a third. And then of course 3 was just filled with everything from
1 and 2.
the store. Yeah, well no, just like for instance, like things like the store filled with the signs of Cole back when he was, you know, a sports star. Whole train runs on whole train. Baird's relationship with Sam, the island sniper, the English woman with the dark hair and dark skin. The back and forth between them, where you know that basically when it's over, he's gonna get him a piece of that. Anya and Marcus, you know, kind of suffering in silence. They both love each other, but both are too stubborn to actually say anything about it because they think it's the end of the world. Getting to Char and seeing all of the bodies from ground zero of the hammer strikes, and you can, if you touch them, they just like poof into ash and float away. Meeting Aaron Griffin trying to hold down the emulsion refinery, and then of course once that goes sideways, then of course, like I said, Dom sacrificing himself at the graveyard after visiting the grave of his wife and kids. And then of course the big moment where as it starts to go away, you know, you think everything's gonna circle around, and Marcus pulls his knife and just guts Mira.
See how you like it.
Yep. And then in 4, everything from Marcus being captured to finding out that Kate has a connection to, you know, parts unknown that they start dealing with in 5. All huge reveals. Just 4, they kept the hits on coming, and I've heard 5 is even better. I can't wait to actually get, you know, a couple of buddies and play through the campaign. It's gonna be sick. I got through the first act, and that alone was like... Have you made it through the first act of Gears 5?
Not completely through.
Okay, well then I'll be quiet. But yeah, again, total emotional moment. Cliffhanger moment. I don't even know what happens afterwards. It goes that crazy.
it's always cliffhanger moments.
Give me a minute. I gotta use the restroom. We'll continue this conversation.
All right, buddy. Trying to figure out what to do here. I got so deep in the chat, I forgot to destroy these things.
Watch out, one of their leaders has arrived. He must be very angry. Finish off the rest. Quickly now.
Seriously, need to get under control.
The area's clear.
You did it. Finished. You saved lives. That is what freelancers do.
Ooh, we got a legendary. All right. That's argument, okay. I'll hold on to that for comparisons. I believe we need one more contract. Let's go do a quick disaster protocol.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back. Yeah, but if a game is good enough to really stick with people, it has at least one moment somewhere where everybody can connect and say, I remember that moment, this is how I felt. Mm-hmm. Games like the first couple of Final Fantasies and Fallout 3 and Mass Effect 3 and some of the others like that, the Gears games. All it takes is one moment where you say, do you remember when this happened? And that guy and the other person is like, oh my God, yes. And then they're like, it was amazing, or I couldn't believe it happened, or did you notice this small detail? And at that point, people connect. It's one of the things that makes great games bring us together, is that one moment in one game that everybody can connect on.
I've heard reports of strange energy signals coming out of an abandoned camp. Please see what's going on.
Honestly, I think that's why Call of Duty has to have yearly installments. Because after Modern Warfare, the original, and the nuke moment, they couldn't really top that, did you see it moment. And they've been trying to recapture it ever since. And yearly installments are how they keep grinding the money out. Because people will keep playing the multiplayer just to play multiplayer. It's addictive. But at least I feel, especially because they cut the single player from Black Ops 4 entirely,
Yeah, they fucked
that
up.
there hasn't been a really good oh my God moment since the original Modern Warfare.
Wonder why the stars left them.
Modern Warfare 2 had a moment. Modern Warfare 2 had that moment, but because of how controversial it was, they spoiled it. And that was no Russian.
Please keep going.
No Russian.
Everybody had an opinion about the part where you play a terrorist and shoot up an airport. Especially because it was post 9/11.
Yeah.
These old star mines are still deadly. Watch yourself.
Everybody had an opinion one way or another, but everybody didn't get to discover it because first of all, they knew it was controversial and they outed it, and second of all, they made the mission skippable, which means that some people who felt uncomfortable with the content never experienced it. They might have caught a glimpse online or something, but they didn't get to play it for themselves and understand why it was pivotal for establishing the story. And it just, like I said, they've had some oh crap moments since then, but they haven't had one where people were just sitting around going, man, in that Call of Duty campaign, do you remember this point where you just could not believe what happened?
You got a good collection now. Well done.
Remember that one point you had to pull
Wait, it looks like I have another
freaking
job
knife
for
out of your chest so you could just save your buddy? Where that one guy kills him?
From a field researcher for too long.
Yeah.
We'll need to investigate.
But it doesn't top, oh my God, do you remember when we were exfilling
I'll get over there.
out of Baghdad
Oh.
and they set off the nuke?
Nothing tops that moment, dude.
For Call of Duty, no, it doesn't. There are other games that have topped that moment, like Fallout 3. Exiting the vault. For the first time. Walking into the Capital Wasteland. Seeing your first Super Mutant if you didn't play the previous ones on PC.
So what the hell is
Some of the
that?
various side possibly going to Tenpenny Tower and blowing up Megaton.
Megaton, yeah.
Sacrificing one of your companions at the end or yourself to activate the Eden device or Garden, whatever it was called, that cleanse the capital waste. Yeah, the device that cleanses the Potomac and the wasteland, and makes it habitable again. Cleanses up the water and everything.
Basically makes the water purifier functional again.
It does more than that, though. It starts removing the radiation from the area. I mean, it basically reverses 200 years of rot. And Vault-Tec had it the whole time, and basically kept it undercover for generations. But,
we're supposed to be defending.
Fallout 4 actually had a moment like that. I know you finished Fallout 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Finding out that the head of the Institute is your son who didn't get... Because you got refrozen for like 50 years, and he grew up. From an infant to an old man, you missed his entire life, and you thought you just missed moments.
Clear. Enemies down.
He thought it was just a mere moment. A year or two has passed. I'm looking for my son. He should be around 12 years old. No, he's an old man. Dun, dun, dun.
It wasn't even 12 years old. It was...
No, when you're...
That finished. Well done.
When you're on the trail finding him, he was already like a kid. When you first started, you thought he was a baby, but he's grown a little bit.
So much more to do.
Point A to point B when you got refrozen.
A group of very sensitive
But from
instruments
that point
stop sending
until
information.
you actually walked out and started playing 4, he had a whole life.
Yeah, he had his whole life, and you missed it. And people can say what they want about Fallout 4 versus 3, but 3 didn't have that kind of unbelievable moment to the story, in my opinion. It had some great highs and lows, no doubt. Walking out into the wasteland the first time for many people was unforgettable. But story-wise, for 4, the twist where you find out the guy who's, basically everybody's saying is the devil is your son, and you missed his whole life in Greece. Yeah. He's like, join us. We're trying to make the world a better place. And you have to decide, do you side with everyone else in the wasteland who thinks these people are evil, or do you side with, the cronies who've been living underground, supposedly creating better living, who've been replacing real people with synthetic duplicates.
I can do that.
And, I mean, it's a huge moral decision that, in my opinion, is a lot more impactful than who's going to give up their life to save the world. It's, do you save the world? In Fallout 3, you knew no matter what, somebody was going in that machine to save the world.
And every time
in Fallout 4, you have to make the choice whether or not you save the world.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, story-wise, that's more impactful. I believe.
I'm calling that finished.
I agree with you.
It was accomplished. You did very good work. I won't forget this.
We're spoiling all kinds of games here in your stream tonight.
Well, it's all in the spirit of gaming, man. You live those moments throughout the story. You feel the impact every time, and especially when your decision.
Have you played? Might as well get another sport. Have you played the Arkham trilogy?
No, I have not. But I've heard a lot of.
Do you plan on it?
Maybe at some type in the future.
Okay, then do you want to talk about the events of Arkham Knight or not?
They've been already talked to me a bunch of times, and I remember someone like
okay,
the whole time the secrets, or there was an Easter egg. You just had to put blasting gel on the wall 3 times, and it was right there. The next installment for the game, or something like that. But
that was Arkham Asylum. Arkham Knight is the final installment, and it comes with 2 huge reveals. The first is that your enemy working for the Scarecrow, who calls himself the Arkham Knight, is a former Robin known as Jason Todd, who Batman thought the Joker had beat to death with a crowbar. It turns out the Joker let him live, but tortured him. before he became the Arkham Knight, he was a masked vigilante known as the Red Hood.
I remember the Red Hood.
Ironically enough, which was a former
Joker
creation identity. Yeah, a former Joker creation identity, origin story identity. They claimed he was the Red Hood before, you know, the Axis accident, and he became the Clown Prince of Crime. But at the final reveal, the big one you did not think would happen, is that you get brought back to the asylum, and Scarecrow threatens to kill Jim Gordon unless he removes the mask. And you, as Batman, tell him to go ahead and do it and reveal who you are to the world.
Holy snap. Now you actually gotta catch a gameplay of that. I want to see that. That sounds like a good one.
That is how Arkham Knight... it's not the true ending, but it's the regular ending for Arkham Knight. I haven't managed to get the true ending, which is called the Nightfall Protocol, but that's because you got to solve all them damn Riddler puzzles, and some of them involve that car, and the car just... It was fun, but it's not good for puzzle solving.
Is the car better in that one or the ones in Borderlands?
Oh, dude, the car in Batman is so much fun to drive, especially because with a tap of a button, it goes from, like big-ass car to, like, hover tank. Complete with a, 40mm cannon and submachines on the front. Kind of like the Batmobile had in Batman vs. Superman.
I remember. Give me a second real quick. Alright. That's it for the daily grind here in Anthem. Hope you guys enjoy the show. A bunch of spoilers. And nice reminiscing of what gaming really does bring to us. So do what you guys do best. Hit me up with a comment down below. Leave a like. Don't forget to share the video. I really appreciate you doing. If you're catching that replay back on my YouTube channel, do me a solid. Hit that sub and notification button for the daily content drop. Special thanks for you guys watching live on Twitch. Don't forget to hit that follow button there as well. Stream live every night. Until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.